Welcome to series of database management system video lectures. Today we will be discussing about unit 5 topic 3, that is SQL joins. So what do we mean by a join? So here we consider more than one table. That's how we are going to learn how to construct a complex queries. So in the previous video sessions, we have discussed about how to create a simple query, right? Or a basic queries and then nested queries. We have learned till there. Now from this session onwards, we will be learning about how an SQL complex query that can be constructed by taking into the consideration of more than one table here. So joins will merge the contents from more than one table into a single table, right? So to do this joining, we have various types of joins. The first one is inner join, which will have further subclassification, that is EQ join and the non-EQ join. The second type is self join, and which is the next variation to self join will be the cross join. And then we have outer join, and the types of outer joins are left outer join, right outer join, and then full outer join. So let us start with the first one, that is natural join. So now let us first look at how an employee table and the address table can be combined together without mentioning any type of join. Okay, let us first look at that. Yeah. So now I wanted to take two tables, that is employee table and then address table. Let me show you. Yeah, this is the employee table. Yeah, we have created an employees table with the two columns, that is employee ID and then employee name, which contains only three records, that is employee ID 1 with Rajendra, 2 with Kusum and 3 with Akshita, right? Now the next table which I have created here is address table. Address table contains a few records and with attributes, that is ID and then city. Employee ID 1 will be staying at city Jaipur, employee 2 Delhi, employee 7 Raipur, and then employee 8 Bangalore. Okay. So now I wanted to perform a join operation upon these two tables, right? So if I wanted to perform that join without mentioning any condition, let us look at here. Yeah. Select employee name and city. I wanted to display only the employee name from employee table, city from address table. Okay. So from employees, E here is taken as an object reference. E here is an object reference. And then we are trying to perform a natural join upon address table referring to by the object A. So when we write here, we are not considering any condition here, simply merging or putting both of the tables content here. So how it gets done? So let us look at here. I have already shown you the table of contents. What is there in the first one? One, the first record is here, 1 Rajendra. Okay. So Rajendra with the one record with the ID number 1 Jaipur. So Rajendra Jaipur gets displayed as the first record. Yeah. Rajendra Jaipur will be the first record. Similarly, Rajendra with the next address at Delhi, Rajendra with the next element Jaipur. Look at here. With Rajendra, 1 Jaipur, 1 Delhi, 1, yeah. And then Akshita with Jaipur, Akshita with Delhi, Kusum with Jaipur, Kusum with Delhi. Okay. And then from the other end, that is city, again Jaipur to Rajendra, Jaipur to Akshita, Jaipur to Kusum. Okay. And then Delhi, Delhi to Rajendra, Delhi to Akshita, Delhi to Kusum. Right. So in this manner, one to many from both the sides, it does the extraction of the records. So this is about inner natural join. So now let us look at the types of joins here. Yeah. The first type of join which I wanted to perform is inner join. So we are taking with the same employee table and an address table with the same set of records. So inner join performs the merging of contents of both the tables by extracting only the common features. So when we combine both the tables 1 and 2, we will be getting only record number 1 and 2. Record number 1 and 2 are common in both. Only that set of information is going to be retrieved here. Okay. So let us perform the same thing here. Let me write a query to perform an inner join. So select employee name and then city from employee, referencing with object E, performing inner join upon address A, referring by A on the condition employee ID equals the address of ID. So only two records are matching. So two one to one and then one to many combination of records are going to be retrieved here. Okay. So now the next one is the next type of join here is self join. So here for we will be considering only one table, but then creating more than one object reference. So that one object will be referring to the same object and the second object will be referring to the same table, same object here. So that's how self-join refers to the same object. So let us write a query to retrieve only the employee ID, employee name using an object reference E, and let me refer M dot. M is again an object of the same table and we are trying to access to the name attribute, and this I wanted to have an alias name as manager from employee table referenced by E object. I wanted to perform inner join. I wanted to perform self join here. Okay. So self join upon on employee table with the condition employee manager ID equals employee ID. So referring one to the same there. So that's the reason when we run this query, Rajendra will be referred by employee ID 1, right? So 1 will be referred to 1 only with respect to employee manager ID. So Rajendra will be given with Rajendra only. Mohan will be referred by manager ID 1. So Mohan will be given to Rajendra. Amit will be given to Rajendra. Manoj will be given to Rajendra. And Manish will be referred to the ID number 2, wherein we have Mohan there. So Manish will be given for Mohan, Kapil will be given to Mohan. So in this manner, we get the result. So let me apply a table with employee self with the same attributes, that is employee ID name and then employee manager ID. I have inserted few records into this table and here is the table, right? So now let me apply this inner join here, self join here. Okay. So we are performing a self join by specifying inner join concepts. Okay. So this is how we get the result here, right? So moving on to the next type, that is cross join. So in this cross join, it takes one element mapping to all the elements which are existing in the new table. So let me create the same demonstration of this table. I have created table A and then table B. Okay, table A contains only A and B values. Table B contains only numericals, that is 1 and 2. So A gets mapped to 1, A gets mapped to 2. And the next record is going to be created. B is mapped to 1, B is mapped to 2. So the ultimate result will be this. So let us apply that cross join. I have created a table with a cross demo. So wherein I have added two different columns. One column is represented by set 1 and second column is represented by set 2, wherein I have provided the same data values. Now I have just, I wanted to display set 1 comma set 2. So moving on to the next type of join, that is cross join. So here also we have taken employee table and then address table wherein we are performing the cross join. So we first take the first record and maps with all the records of the second table, right? In the second, we pick the second record and it maps to the all the entries in the second table. And then we select the third record and then which maps to the all the records in the second table. So this is how we get the list of items in the cross join. Let us perform the same thing here. So we have employee tables with the 3 records and then address table with the 5 records, but then repeated with the same 1 to 2 data values. So now let us write the query to perform a cross join upon the employees and address table. So I wanted to display only employee name and then city from employees with object reference E, which is going to perform a cross join on address table with reference of A object. Okay, so this is how we get all the output. So one element gets mapped to all the other elements once it consumes all, and then moving on to the second record and then maps to the all the other elements. So this is how it happens with the cross join. The next type of join here is left outer join. So we take the same employees table and then address table here. Okay, so now when we invoke left outer join upon these two tables, we will be focusing only on these set of records. Okay. So we first go with these set of records. So Rajendra with employee ID 1. Is there any association with that ID element in the second table? Yes, we have. So we go with Rajendra with Jaipur. Next is Kusum referenced by ID number 2. Do we have any match? Yes, Delhi we have. So we go with this. Moving on to the last record from employee table. ID number is 3. Right. Then do we have any match in address table here? No, we don't have any other association in this table. So that's the reason we get none here. Right. So let us apply the same thing. Condition based upon this condition, we wanted to apply that. So ID is from address table. EMP ID is for this. Okay. Name and city from employees table with reference E, left outer join address A on employees dot, or you can even take it as E dot EMP ID A dot ID. Okay. So this is how we get the result of left outer join. So it will consume all the elements, all the records in the first table. And if there is an association which exists in the second table, it takes all the data. If there is no such association, then it just returns it with the null there. Okay. Yes. Moving on to the next type of join, that is right outer join. So here also we have the same concept. Let all the content from the right side of the table is going to be fetched, and we find the association from table A. If there is a match found, then we will be printing even the content of table A. If not, then it returns with null. So look at here. Here we are comparing. First, Rajendra with roll number 1. Do we have any match? Jaipur we have. So that's how we get value here. Second is Kusum. There is a record with matching 2. So Delhi it returns. And then the third one is Raipur. So let us compare. Do we have any record with the ID number 7 in employee table? There is no such content. So that's the reason here you will be displayed with a null. And the next one is Bangalore with ID 8. There is no employee ID with ID 8. So that's the reason it returns with null here. Right? So we can simply change the condition to be like this. That is right outer join. Right outer join. Let everything remains the same. Okay. So we have deleted one record earlier. So as we found same number of entries there. So that's the reason we got no null there. Assume that we have inserted another record into address. Okay. Insert into address values. That is 8, comma. Let us take UT. Okay. So now we don't have any record which is there with ID number 18 employees. But then in address, we are trying to insert address 1 is our table. Okay. Yes, the record has been inserted. So now let us write this right outer join now. So we will get the values here as address 1. I should mention it as address 1 here. Yes. So there are no other matched entities attributes in the employees table. That's the reason it has returned with a null here. Okay. That is about right outer join. Okay. Moving about the next type of join, that is full outer join, wherein it will cover all the entries from table A from left side and table B from right side. So which is nothing but combination of both left and right joins together here. So here we need to perform only one change. So finally, with the last type of join, that is non-EQ join. So in this non-EQ join, we will be using the symbols. Okay, instead of the equal sign, we can use any other relational operators for specifying the condition. Earlier, we have conducted a condition by employee ID should match with ID of the address, wherein we have used only equal operator there. But then for non-EQ join, uh, other than equal sign, we deal with any other types of comparison operators. That is the only change that we have. And sometimes we can even go with logical operators such as a between, any, all, right? So even that set of operators can also be used for dealing with a non-equi join. Now the next subtopic here is comparison of not null operator. So now, so far we have learned how to compare a given set of values against to any attribute by using an equal operator. Now I wanted to compare the records with respect to the attributes without having values. So which is going to be treated as null values, right? So now let us try to retrieve the records based upon this null and not null values. Yeah. So here, let me retrieve. Okay. So here, let me add. Now look at this table, that is EMP table, wherein we have various other fields such as employee number, name, job, manager, hire date, salary, commission, and then department number. Now I wanted to write a query. Select a star from table name, that is EMP. Now I wanted to check whether I wanted to retrieve only those set of records from the table name. Select salary. Select salary, sal from EMP. Now look at here, select. I wanted to retrieve only those employees from the employee table where salary is null. Okay. So let me look at EMP1. So EMP1 has these set of values. I have inserted few records there. So fifth record, which has employee ID, name, department, but there is no salary allotted. So I wanted to retrieve that set of records from the employee table, which has a salary as null. Now let me modify the query in such a way that I wanted to retrieve the records from the EMP1 where salary is not null. Okay. So now other than null values, I wanted to retrieve only those set of employee names. So here Arun has a certain salary value, Banu has certain value, Usha has certain value, and Kiran has certain value for the salary. So that's the reason we have retrieved only that set of records. Whereas Abhi has some null value for salary. So that's the reason we cannot retrieve that. So this is the comparison using null as well as not null values there.